Welcome to GITEX Insights 2025. I am joined by Jessica Constantinidis from ServiceNow. Hi Jessica, how are you?
I'm all good, thank you. How about you?
All well. What are some of the recurring themes that come up in your conversations with customers, especially as it relates to agentic AI?
The funny one is people think they know agentic AI until you actually start to explain agentic AI. So a lot of times I go in and they don't even know the difference between RPA, machine learning, the generic AI, and then the agentic AI, and then the autonomous AI. So basically, the standard AI that we all know is the AI where we ask a question, we then get an input, we think through it, and then we do something. The agentic AI is where the AI thinks for us, and we just rectify and modify. And then the autonomous one is where the AI thinks for us, acts for us, and we get to verify whether that happens and roll back if it's not the case. So I think the biggest misconception is that everybody calls the same AI. It's not. And also the different levels of AI are completely different. And the last one I think is people think it's new. AI has been around a few years, right? So that is most of the conversations I have with customers, to be honest.
Okay, and are there any processes or applications that are unsuitable for agentic AI right now? And what criteria should customers use to decide whether to introduce agents into the process?
I think it comes down to cost versus quality, right? A lot of people are forcefully pushing everything into AI, but then I'm asking the question, why are you doing this? If you don't have a real use case of using agentic AI or generative AI or whatever, don't use it. So the other misconception is people think they have to put the whole process in there. No, sometimes you have a manual piece, then you have an agentic AI piece, and then you have a manual piece again. So it's really about understanding, is it worth the cost? Because agentic AI is not cheap. Yeah, generative AI is also not cheap.
Yeah.
So figure out, are we benefiting enough for us to warrant the cost of using AI versus can we just automate it? Because people all of a sudden forgot the fact that we can automate things. So 80% of the use cases that I discuss with customers are a standard automation or a generative AI, not even an agentic AI. So I believe when you really think that the narrative of thinking it through and giving it away, that's agentic. If you're not ready for that in terms of governance, security, compliancy, don't even touch it because it's going to be very expensive. You're not going to get the value out of it.
Okay, and ServiceNow now talks about any AI, any agent, any model. How does the Now platform practically orchestrate multiple LLMs and agentic AI across different enterprise functions and workflows?
That's a big one, and I think this is the only one where we are differentiating from 80% to 90% of the market, right? So we have every ServiceNow customer in their own instance has a ServiceNow LLM that sits inside, sovereign, doesn't go outside, that maps inside. Then that one connects to potentially other LLMs. So we have something which is called an AI control tower. That AI control tower maps every single AI agent, whether it belongs to ServiceNow, Perplexity, Claude, whatever you might have, right? They link in there, and then that maps to something which we call the data fabric. So the data fabric is where we categorize your data lakes, whether it comes from an AWS, structured, unstructured, doesn't necessarily matter. And then based upon which AI, which workflow, which data, and which AI agent runs it, we will then be able to map out what you can do and what you cannot do. So the reason we can do agentic, the reason we can do all of this is because of that AI control tower. And in that AI control tower, we basically govern and secure any AI agent. So that means we can go into any platform. That means we can orchestrate and secure and risk averse any environment out there. So if people are really scared about using AI, this is the tool you need to use. And we've been doing it because we're rigorous on our CMDB, which is our database, and our CSM, which is our data model. And because of these two being standard for every single platform, so the SAPs connect, the workflows connect, everything connects, right?
Yeah.
That gives you the opportunity to then control the whole thing without potentially losing data, without potentially losing compliancy. And I think that is the key to doing safe AI in the future. Your LLM will learn about your own biases, your own policies, your own environments. That's why we do it.